everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Member Series Monday, where you have the opportunity to get to know our members beyond this floating floor. And today I'm so excited that with us, we have Elizabeth Benjamin, who used to be a member with us and now she's a trainer. So I'm excited for you guys to get to know her story a little bit more, her burn boot camp story, and get to know her a little bit beyond the floating floor. Welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we've known each other, I feel like, for years, which it has been. I think our journey together started 2019, I think, in a parking lot when we were not even open.
Yep.
Did you come to our first pop-up camp?
I did not, but I was doing your online workouts. So,
okay.
I had moved from Ohio 5 years ago and was looking for something to do after I finished my half marathon in March. And I had found Burn Boot Camp. I know nothing about it, but I knew you all were going to watch my kids for 45 minutes. And I was like, let's do this. I love it. So after my half marathon, I was like, I am going to try this gym. And as soon as that half marathon was done, that's when COVID hit. So that's when you all started doing online. And it was actually a really good transition for me to understand kind of the format of Burn and everything. So when your doors opened June 1st, I was there that first day. But in the middle of that, that's when I text messaged you and said, hey, I want to try this Afterburn protein powder. And that's what we met in the
So I think I just told you before this, I found our conversation.
Yes.
Every now and then when I'm bored at night, I'll go through these random things, and I went through our conversation because I kind of wanted to remember and bring some of that back today when you and I were going to meet. And I loved it. It was social distancing. This gives me anxiety just talking about this right now. But I remember I was at the front desk.
Yep.
You came in to pick up your Afterburn protein, I think chocolate, if I'm not mistaken, back then.
Yep. Still love it.
Still love it. Still a chocolate fan. We were talking for 20 to 30 minutes, and it was amazing. And now fast forward, or let me actually backtrack real quick. You were working out on the floating floor, and we asked you, because you're amazing, and we're like, why don't you be a trainer? And I recall tears. Walk me through that moment and what that felt like.
It still brings me to tears when I think about that moment because my first day here at Burn, working out in my square, this was not how Burn is today, right? We were doing air high fives. You got your weights and you stayed in this little box and square. But even that first day, I knew something was different about this place. I loved it from the moment I stepped through those doors, and I knew it was going to impact my life. At that point, I had no idea how much, right? So I had been there working out for about 6 months, and I started to get this feeling like, man, I see how much these trainers are helping people and the impact they've made on me and so many other people. That would be really cool to do. And I tell my husband everything, right? This is something I never told him because I just was like, well, that's silly. And I can go down a long story of my history, but I never had the confidence in myself. I always had weight issues, eating issues, unhealthy relationships and that. So I was always like, there's no way, I'm not fit to be a Burn trainer, which Burn in general is obviously for everyone, right? But I kept talking myself out of getting certified. I'm like, God, I'd love to do that. Oh no, that's silly. And that morning, literally that morning, I prayed about it. And I said, God, give me a sign if this is something I'm supposed to do. Like if this is something I'm really supposed to do to impact other people.
I love it.
Give me a sign. It was that day that you all asked me if I had ever thought about being a Burn Boot Camp trainer. And that's when I literally lost it. And I still want to cry thinking about it.
I know this about you. It makes me cry. I love it.
Yeah. It's, my mom calls it finding your stone to throw, finding your purpose, your passion. Do I love being a mom? Absolutely. This is why I'm here. This is my purpose. I know I struggle with my weight, with an unhealthy relationship with food, all those things for almost 15 years because I was preparing myself for this journey, to be here, to help others, to be able to empathize with people and understand, looking at themselves, wondering, how did I get here? Right? How did I get to this point? And a vicious cycle of eating because I was depressed because I was eating, this sick, vicious cycle that just continued. And it took a long time for me to snap out of it. But if I can do it, anyone can. And I want to help people just feel empowered, feel good about themselves, grow mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that day changed my whole world. I got certified within about 4 or 5 months after that, and I've been training for 3.5 years now.
I think it was quicker than 4 or 5 months after that because
Yeah.
we talked about this, and the next thing you sent me a text message, pass an exam. I was like, I thought we just talked about it yesterday, so that was amazing.
And I did it very secretively.
You did, and that's genuinely the way to go. For anybody who's ever wanting to be a burn trainer, I really encourage you to just do it.
Yep.
I want to go back. I know you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I do, on your past journey.
Yeah.
I want you to share. So there is, I don't know what the right word for this is. There is a little myth about trainers, right? Especially, I feel like we're just going to keep this to Burn Bootcamp right now because that's kind of what we're talking about. Yeah. And I used to be one of those people until I really started understanding the fitness journey. I really started understanding what it is to be where you are today. Like, you're not born the way you are. You had your struggles. Walk me through when you say, because you're not the only one, right? Walk me through when you talk about you had some of your eating disorders.
Yes.
At what point did you realize you had that?
Well, so I always was an athlete in high school, and I always just I could eat whatever I wanted. I remember girls being like, oh man, you're so lucky. You can eat whatever you want. Second I turned, I think like 16, 17, that changed a little bit. I saw my body changing. But when I went off to college, right, people talk about the freshman 15. Listen, it was 15, then it was 20, then it was 30. I ended up leaving college about 30 pounds heavier than I should have been at my height. And then it spiraled out of control after that because I used food emotionally. So if I was sad, I ate. If I was happy, I ate. But that was my crutch. That was how I comforted myself. So I had moved to North Carolina after I graduated and was working for Marriott there. So I was by myself, and that's where it really got bad. So at that point, I think I was 65, 70 pounds overweight. And I went to my first Weight Watchers meeting, but this was before Weight Watchers was cool, like online. Like, I literally walked through the doors of a Weight Watchers meeting. It took me 3 weeks to get there, but I finally got the courage to go. And I was in a room with a lot older women. I was the only young person there and stepped out that scale for the first time. And that was extremely crushing, but also eye-opening. Weight Watchers, although now they don't have you eating enough calories, they teach you how to eat right. So it's not an all or nothing mentality, which is always what it used to be for me. So I started learning a little bit more how to eat. And I always found nutrition interesting, right? But even then, I was able to kind of hone it in a little bit, but I went up and down. I had 3 kids. Like, it was always a constant battle. I will say it wasn't until I had my 3rd child. I mean, I was early 30s still, where something clicked in me that was this innate need to be healthy for my children. I don't know what it was, and it's obviously such a blessing, but I knew I had to be healthy for my kids. So I always think of the slogan, people always say they would die for their kids. Would you live for your kids?
Yeah.
Right? It's a different question. Would you do the things it takes to be healthy for them? There's so much out of our control, but this is something we can control.
Right.
So that's when I started just getting a better handle on my nutrition. I started running, but that was just, I wanted to be outside. So I walked outside, I ran to a mailbox, and then I ran to the second mailbox, and it was just a slow progression. I did fall in love with running in general. And I think those things just kind of made the perfect storm. And then when my husband dragged me here 5 years ago, kicking and screaming, thank God, because I love it so much. And that's when I continued to run, but I knew I wanted something more. And that's how I found Burn, when I was just literally looking on Instagram and it popped up.
Yeah. Your transformation. I knew some of these things, but I didn't know all the things that you shared. So thank you for sharing. That's huge. I feel like even now that where you are, it's still not easy, right? It's things like first of all, from my perspective, it's all up here.
It is.
It's the mental game, right? If you're mentally strong, and that's kind of what we do at Burn Bootcamp. And I'm always saying, right, we are always saying here, what you do outside is way harder than what you do in these doors, right? Yes. It's all in the mental game. But even till today, now you're a trainer, 3.5 years into it. Your kids are older. You're working. You're a lead trainer here. You got to juggle the kids. Aaron travels quite a bit, right?
Yep.
So there's still prep that goes after this. It's not like, hey, I've done my nutrition for the past 2-3 years, whatever that looked like. Hey, I'm over my eating disorder. I think it's easy to go back into it, right? If you
Sure.
don't keep track of it. What do you do right now? I know some of the things that you do because we've connected. I'm constantly
Sure.
asking you questions. I want you to share that with our Burn Prosper members.
Yep.
Even with your journey or where you are today,
Mhm.
you are still putting in the work. And what does that look like for you?
Yeah.
Just tell me a day in your life to
Yeah.
prep you for the day. What does that look like?
Yeah.
We'll just narrow it down to a day, not even a week.
Yeah, I think first of all, no, it's always work. It's always discipline. It's nothing that, yes, is it more habitual now, and it's something that it just becomes who you are. Absolutely, I will say, here at Burn, you work on small changes. One small change at a time that truly leads to that big result. So as you're going, you're building on these small changes. All of a sudden, you're a different person, and you don't know how it happened because you just did it in small increments. So you do change your perspective and who you are. But listen, it's not, I can gain 5 pounds just looking at a cookie, right? Like it's something I truly have to work on. Is that frustrating? Do I have a mom and a sister who, can eat whatever they want and are 100 pounds, right? Like it is frustrating at times, but it's also, it's teaching your children how to be healthy, how to look at food healthy. So I track my nutrition almost every single day. I don't find it tedious because I can do it within 30 seconds now through an app. So I like to play with my macros. It's like a little puzzle, but it's really important. It's important mentally for my health that I come here and move my body every single day. That I get to see y'all who I adore. That's good for my mental health as well. And this team is amazing. These members are amazing. So that's why that helps my mental health. And then obviously the workouts are the hardest damn workouts ever. And then you feel so empowered leaving. So I'm either training, working out. Obviously, I do track my food. But this place is just so much more than a gym, right? This job's hard, but I think about it 24/7, right? Like,
Well, I don't know how I feel about it. Don't think about it 24/7. That's not good. But I love that you think about it 24/7.
But our whole team, this training team, this whole Burn Bootcamp Prosper team, we are all in it for the right reasons. And the coolest thing about this job is to push you so hard in here that you walk out there and be like, well, I can take on anything outside these four walls because I just did that, right? This place helps people better their jobs, their careers, their relationships, feels like a better mom or a better dad, all those things. It's pretty amazing. I don't care. I never thought, my mom thinks it's hilarious, I never thought I'd be waking up at 3:45 in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. I do that because I love it. We all do that because we love it. And if I can make a small impact in somebody's life and help them with their journey from the things I've learned from my past, you're going to have me as a 65-year-old trainer because I'm never
Down
leaving.
with it. You'll have a 65-year-old owner. So we're doing really good things here. I think this was 2 years ago. I can't remember. And I will never forget this moment. Your older daughter,
Aubrey.
I don't know why I said older daughter. It's the only daughter you have.
Yes.
She dressed up as a trainer.
She did, yes.
2 years ago.
Yes, she did.
And I will never forget that moment. You texted me and I started crying because I thought that was the coolest thing that has ever done. And she dressed up as a trainer. And it was one of the dress up days. I think a career day. I can't remember what it was.
It was career day.
And she dressed up as you.
She did.
She had all the things on, and I think she made a mic.
She made her little mic, and she had her hat. And because my head's too small, I have to have a hat on.
Cool is that?
It's amazing. And those are the reminders like you need on those days where you feel tired and run down, to know that you're making a positive impact on your children. And they do push-ups and pull-ups, and it's so cool to have that impact not only on hopefully the members, but your own children. It's pretty amazing. And you did that because you opened Burn Bootcamp Prosper.
And y'all helped me run the show. And I'm thankful for all of you guys, 100%. No, that was something that's always, always, always stuck by me. Mm-hmm. Anytime I see you, I feel like I see her. Mm-hmm. And now she's taller than you.
She is.
So I just thought that was so big because I think as moms, and we've had this conversation so many times, we're so hard on ourselves, right?
Yep.
Nothing, it's like, we're not doing it right. We're not doing it right. We're not doing it right. Like
Yep.
if one thing goes wrong, we're like, oh, we're not being good moms.
Correct.
But then you see moments like those, and then you're like, okay, like I am doing something right. Like I am impacting my children, whether that's, and that doesn't have to be somebody who's a trainer.
No.
That could be, hey, like, if I walked in just doing push-ups, pull-ups, or just giving my best,
Yes.
my kids are watching me give my
Yes.
best, you know? You guys do a really great job talking about things that cool down,
Mhm.
right? Where does your inspiration come from? Like when you, like, yeah, what is your inspiration when you, because sometimes, yes, I know I give
Yeah.
you guys things to say, but a lot of times it's natural and it's inspirational things. And I'm like, dang, that was really good.
Yep.
And that's a
Generally,
mindset.
I think generally it's what's on my heart that day. And I know if I'm feeling that way, I bet a lot of people are feeling that
Yeah.
same way too. We're all in it together. We're all in the weeds together, right? And I try to be authentic and just share, you know, my struggles. So again, hopefully I can help somebody else, but you just hope one thing resonates. You hope one thing clicks to help someone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And again, going back to what we were talking about trainers, right? There's a little thing about trainers that people get intimidated by them, by the way they look or by the way, and they feel like they don't have fun. I really do. You guys have not hung out with my trainers. Like we're just going to leave that here. We're not going to elaborate on that very much because it's all on media.
Yes, correct.
So it's cool to see. And my hope is people get to know you. And as we bring other trainers and the team on board, that they get to see you guys be on this floating floor.
Yep.
You get a lot of people asking you. I get a lot of people asking me, and it's a good problem to have. People want to be part of our team. They want to be part of Burn Bootcamp Prosper, right? We have a lot of people interested in being trainers, and that makes me so happy.
Me too.
Take it back to everybody, not just people who want to be trainers.
Sure.
Take it back. I was here, back there, your first day when you put that mic on. I remember there were about 7 people. Because back then, we know what we were doing.
Gina was there.
Gina, yes.
Gina was there.
Shout out, Gina.
Love you, Gina.
She was there, yes. Tell me what was going through your head when I was like, hey, Elizabeth, all right, let's get on the floor. You want to do this, you got to do this.
It was basically like you were telling me to go jump out of an airplane or something. Like I was terrified, like absolutely terrified. I had to write out the warm-up on a Post-it. Like I was, and I still think I forgot it. It was the most terrifying thing I have ever done. And I think that's what people need to understand. I think it's actually a really good sign if someone wants to be a trainer, if that petrifies them, if that getting on the floor, on the mic, having everybody's attention on you, if that scares you, I actually like that. Our trainers aren't looking for attention. We're looking to change lives and help people. We're looking for people who bleed blue, who really want to be, make an impact and help others, right? Like you always say, we can teach you everything else. We cannot teach you to bleed blue.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And we always talk about, any certifications, you can go get that. That's a piece of paper.
Correct.
What would you say for you, the number one thing when you left that floating floor, now that you were 3.5 years into this training, your favorite part about your being a trainer, now that we're past the scariness part, all of those things, what is the number one thing that you get excited when you step on that floating floor?
Oh gosh, the members. I mean, I just love them. Like we know so many of them. We've watched them through their journey. We have them on our transformation wall. Just getting to do what I get to do every day is such a blessing. It's something I get to do. Not that I have to do. It is watching people transform emotionally, mentally, physically, watch them do something they didn't think they were capable of, and that spark, go off. That is the coolest thing to witness. And again, knowing that we're pushing you so hard in here because we love you and we know you're capable of it, and you're going to take that with you when you walk out those doors. That is absolutely the best part of the job. 100%.
Yep. You're building confidence in people.
Correct.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
There's so many people, again, who wants to be a trainer. What is one thing you would tell anybody who's even thought about it? Just, they don't have to have a certification right now. They don't have to be a trainer, but just a simple thought. Be like, can I do this?
Mhm.
What would your advice be to them?
I would say that seed was planted for a reason. If your dreams don't scare you a little bit, they're not big enough, right?
Yeah.
You need to talk to us, right? Share that it's something you're interested in, but go for it. I mean, it's simple as that, right? You can get a certification. That's something no one can ever take away from you, right? It's going to be more knowledge, and knowledge is power. So if you're interested in learning how the body and the muscles and everything works, go for it, right? We're only going to be sad about the things we didn't go after and didn't accomplish. So my simple answer is do it, but also share it with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. Burn Prosper, this is your trainer, Elizabeth Benjamin. I hope you guys got the opportunity to get to know her a little bit more beyond the floating floor today. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
We cannot end today's conversation without Elizabeth showing her famous dance moves to us.
Yes.
So we're going to need you to get up, and we're going to need you to real quick, back here, do your famous, I'm going to get out of the view, do your famous dance move. Go. There you go. Perfect. I love it. Beautiful. And this is why we love Elizabeth. But as always, we start together, we end together. Give me 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.